Hello, everyone. My name is Mary Leppo, and I'm an integrative nutrition health coach specializing in perimenopause and menopause. And this is my MenoMusings, also sometimes maybe 40 something marvels, which is really what I'm going to do today. So I just wanted to hop on here real quick before I run out and teach one of my yoga classes. But this is kind of a follow up a little bit of last week when I posted about anxiety. We know during this time in life, anxiety can really rear its ugly head. And that's because sometimes the hormones are fluctuating around, just causing anxiety and nervous system imbalance. It can be, at this time of our lives, a lot of us are at the peak of our careers, and now we've got this to deal with, which can be stressful. A lot of us are trying to just manage taking care of ourselves, everybody else, which may or may not include children that are still home or even an aging parent. So there's a lot going on to make us anxious in general. Something that I have really come to terms with over the last, probably honestly, the last 10 years, but really, really in the last 5 to 8 years or so, is the impact that news and social media and the constant bombardment of all of those things also contribute to our anxiety. And this was not the topic that I wanted originally to talk about today, but this is something that the universe has really, really weighed on my heart. So I'm going to talk about it. So, like, again, this might be a 40 something marvel, a Mary's musing, or what have you. Just take it as to whatever you want. And I do have notes to try to keep me on track. So, basically what I do or how I approach social media. I like social media. I like to keep up with my friends there, especially ones that don't live here where I'm at, and all of those kinds of things. But I don't use it as my source of news. It is not my source of news. I do not follow any politicians or elected officials. I do not follow political parties. I do not follow commentators or influencers, anything like that. I do not follow. I just can't handle that anymore, the constant bombardment. And I'll get a little bit to that in a moment. So I don't want those things constantly in my feed, constantly popping up. Okay. Being someone who does not like politics, whether that's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever it is that you're at, I don't want to contribute to that and potentially the anxiety of other people by posting those things on my page. Okay. So, yeah, I can post, whatever, want my opinions, this, that, and the other. But if I don't like this and I don't like the way that this is contributing to anxiety in people, bad feelings, what have you, me turning around and doing that, the same thing, is not helpful. Case in point, I am not a news reporter. It is not my job to do the news. I am not a journalist. I am not a commentator. I am not any of those things. So I am not going to repost that on my platforms. By not posting that on the platforms also keeps me out of uncomfortable conversations and situations that I am not really qualified to be in. Okay, another case in point, think about all of the times that maybe us or people we know have immediately posted an opinion about something, and then maybe a few weeks later ended up with egg on their face because more facts came out, and it ended up not being what it was when it was initially presented once all of the facts came out. So that's another way to kind of keep anxiety levels down, wondering what people are going to think about what you're going to posting when you're not posting the news. So that's another thing. Consider the sources. Again, social media, not the best source. What I do personally, for the local news, I watch the 6 p.m. news. It's on 30 minutes. It's on a local station. That's it. I don't stick around for the national news. I don't watch CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, all of those things. I'm not watching that stuff all the day. Most of that is commentary anyway, and I'm just not interested in that. What I do is I go to those places' websites or their apps. So my phone is not in front of me, but I have apps of just about every news organization that it has. And I go into there and I scroll down and I see the headlines. So I'm not ignorant as to what's going on. And then if I want to know more about something, then I click on that and I read more about it. I don't need to be bombarded with it constantly. Same thing with your push notifications on your phone. I've got all those apps on my phone. All of those push notifications are turned off. The only notifications that I've got on my phone news-wise are the 3 local stations that we have here in Lexington. Because for one, if there is a horrible crash that's blocking a road, I want to know about that so I can avoid that area or find a new route somewhere. If there's, God forbid, a barricade situation happening somewhere, I want to know about that so I can avoid that area at all costs. So I really only want to know what's going on locally from that perspective. But I also know if something major happens worldwide or nationally, that's going to come through there. And so then by only keeping it to my local stations, I'm not being bombarded with 15 other things constantly coming through, which is also an annoyance because every time your phone dings or vibrates or whatever, then you have a tendency to stop what you're doing and look at it. So now you're constantly looking at it, and then now you're not getting work done or focusing on what you need to do. So that is a way that I reduce a lot of my anxiety levels with all the things that are going on by doing those kinds of things. Also note that on these social media platforms, we've got something known as algorithms. So they are set up to give you what you want. So if you're spending time looking at a picture or reading an article or looking something up or what have you, those are the kind of things that they're going to try to put into your feed so you see that. Even if you don't comment, or I shouldn't say that, make a post about something, your opinion, but you're commenting on other people's opinions or you're liking somebody's opinions or what have you, that all goes into the algorithm and you're going to see more of those things in your feed. So for me, I don't post, I don't like, I try my best not to comment, and that really helps not see those things in my feed. So just kind of be mindful of that. Now, with all of those things, there is something that might be helpful. Right now, this only works on Facebook and unfortunately only works on like a desktop or a laptop computer, but it's called Facebook Purity, FB Purity, and it is a free add-on that you can put onto Facebook, and you can filter out, you can put in keywords and phrases to filter out of your news feed. So for me personally, I've got multiple political parties on there. I don't want to see it. Doesn't matter if I agree with it or not. I don't want to see it. I was born under the Carter administration in the United States. So I have every single president, vice president, and first lady from the Carter administration to present filtered out of my feed. I've also got a lot of hot button topics that are filtered out of my feed that I just don't want to see. I don't want to see stuff about shootings. I don't want to see stuff about abortion. I don't want to see stuff about protests, this, that, and the other. I don't want to see it. Doesn't mean that I necessarily agree or disagree. I just don't want to see it. So I've got all of that filtered out of my feed. It is about 98% accurate of getting it out. The only downside to that is, or at least that I have been able to find or not find, it doesn't work on the apps on your phone. So if you're accessing social media on your phone, you're going to get all of those things still in your feed. So just kind of something to be aware of there. So I check my social media less and less on my phone actually, and more on my computer, just so I can have that filter and have a more pleasant experience versus a more stressful one. So those are things that I do that really, really help me out. I'm not walking around as an anxious person all the time, can't sleep at night because I'm worried about this happening over here or this happened over there, or what might happen tomorrow, what might happen next week, next month, next year, all of those things. It doesn't do me any good. So I really, really try to focus on the present and the now to help me with that. And being mindful of my news sources, what and how much I consume, especially from social media, is a big part of that. So I hope that this was helpful to you. It gave you some ideas, tips that you can put into place, free things that you can do, things to be mindful of. I hope that they're helpful to you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, drop me a line, and I will see you again really soon. Bye bye.